Hey, what's up, good people? So we left off right with talking about we was on our number six of the countdown, and this part one was recorded separately. So for those who just like stopping in and really starting to like kind of get a feel of what's going on here. You might be like wondering like hey, um so like how did I miss um how did I miss part one of this, well, that's because it was recorded separately. That's what happened. um None the least. But for the most part, I'm gonna go ahead and finish it anyways, even though it was recorded separately. Let's go ahead and just like get into it and give you the last couple of songs that was on my top 21 list. So again, you can follow me on Instagram at dj.potential, as well as excuse me, as well as the radio station at transformuradio.com. Um, I am recording live from the studio, from the film studio, straight here out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Shout out to the Bucks who's doing their thing. Yes, Giannis is doing his thing. Indeed, 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 he is. They do. And I got some new stuff here, man. I can't wait to tell you guys about it. This is from a sponsor, so I'm trying it out before I even I even talk about who that sponsor is. Um, so like we left off, the artist we left off on was Natalie Ross, the popular singer and songwriter from Italy. So let's just talk about our next one, who's our next rock sound that's on my top 21. The next rock sound is a combination of Mike Tantrum, who brought together the drummer Jimmy Saint Shin and bassist Tony Terlicker to create the huge rock sound Vicious Kitty. Vicious Kitty is the name of that particular band. I mean, what can I say? They doing some great things, and for the most part, the name of their new song is "No More Waiting" remix. They bring it a fresh new flavor to the rock and alternative rock genre. You definitely want to check them out, man. Vicious Kitty. You can find them on Facebook at Vicious Kitty Band. They got a website, viciouskitty.band. So make sure you check them out. And just they start, like, man, the song "No More Waiting." I mean, it's going definitely, be a song that you can play, put on. It's gonna be in heavy rotation on our radio station, WTLB. This is broadcast Transform You Radio. Transformuradio.com. Hit the play button. You'll be able to find it there. Next on the list is German-born artist, singer-songwriter by the name, and I'm going to butcher this name just a little bit, Mike. Yeah, it looks like Mike. He's living in the U.S. right now. So Mike Lanco, it looks like Lanco. He started off playing the flute and classical guitar when he was only 6 years old in his hometown of Germany. So what he's been spending his time doing now, he's or in the past, he was touring for bands like the Black Sabbath, and Hammersmith, London, the Playhouse. He also did some openings for Queen. And then what this led him to, it led him to travel over here to the U.S. music scene. He started working with local bands in New Jersey, and also as a studio singer in New York, where he made a name for himself with the Doug Berlin Project. Okay, he he co-produced. So the Doug Berlin project, whose Warner looks like Friction co-produced Lou Graham's album Midnight Blue and other. So yeah, he's been putting in some work. He got a real good body of work that he's already put in. But he got influences like Journey, Total, Down Here, and others, which can be heard in his new work, his new album mixed by Mark Frigo, Days of the Sun. So that album is available now. The German-born singer-songwriter in the rock genre. Again, another great song that's being spent on our station. The name of that song, and I'll have it up here in just a second. It's Days of the Sun. It's it's the self-titled name of the album, Days of the Sun. Days of the Sun. That's SON. Days of the Sun. So again, you can find that in heavy rotation on WTLB. This broadcast, Transform You Radio. Yes, indeed, man. So again, man, these we supporting great artists here, and if you want to have your song, maybe in rotation on WTLB, this broadcast, hit me up. Hit me up on IG at DJ.Potential. You can hit the radio station up directly on IG as well at Transform You Radio, or send us an email at media@transformu.us. We'll chop it up with you, and we'll tell you what steps you need to take to submit your music, and and maybe if I like it, I'll give you the shout out. It'll appear on my top 21 or my top 25 or or my top 10. So I who knows, it might end up on my Spotify playlist, which is in heavy rotation. Yeah, man. And shout out to our sponsors as well. Pro Wrestling Media Museum, doing some great things there. Make sure you check them out as well. Pro Wrestling Media Museum. We'll have their information for you if you want to check them out. Check what they got. Let me know. Also, let's get back to. I know I'm missing another important sponsor. we got two podcasts too. That's putting in work, and that's like heavily supporting us right now. So I want to shout out the Krusty Knut, which is available on Podbean. You can also watch it on YouTube too. The Krusty Knut. That's CANUCK. So if you're tired of just like all of the fake news and all of the political garbage that you hear in like the Western world, well, he got like a different spin on it. He's a 20-year veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces. And he speaks out against the trend of victimhood within the politics, third and fourth wave feminism, slacking the leadership of our politics. So if you want to help him stand for basic liberty and common sense, because of course that is the stepping stone to real freedom and prosperity. We all are essential. We all are liberty. Check out the Krusty Knut on Podbean, as well as on YouTube as well. You can find it there on YouTube. Proud sponsor of Transform You Radio and Transform Media Network. A shout out to our friend over there who's doing some great things. Another sponsor that I want to get out is a woman who's doing something great as well with her podcast. She has the Downshift Offense. That's with a AUFENSN. Definitely check out her podcast. That podcast gives a woman's perspective and also gives advice about the automotive industry. So she's going to be sharing her insight stories and tips on how to get into the industry itself, how to help save trips and talk to other women in the industry about what's it's like for them. And it's going to be changing misconceptions about the industry itself and about women who work in it. Downshift, all shift. Check that out on captive.fm. It is hosted on captive.fm, but you can also find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or your podcast or any other podcast app that you prefer. She may be hooking up with the Transform Your Media Network as a permanent spot holder here. So we thank her though for her efforts to support us in our efforts. So great stuff. So back to our artists that's on the list. This one is Random Cats. Random Cats is a group of outstanding musicians playing original music by Earl and Murray Robbins. So you definitely want to check out what they got,